Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 201st episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we are having a really fun conversation because we are discussing VH1 Couples Retreat, and we're doing a WokeNFree review. So, woohoo! But before,
okay.
Exactly. But before we dive deep into the subject, a couple of things to cover. First, have you gone to WokeNFree.com to not only listen to this episode, but to download it? Because if you download it through the Podbean app, then you're able to join the conversation by sharing your thoughts. Because we want to know what you thought about the VH1 Couples Retreat show. So definitely make sure you do that. Of course, if for some reason you can't download any additional apps, a couple of tiers come to mind. Our son also might be sad. But what you can do is make sure you go to WokeNFree.com, go on the Listen tab, and then you pick your platform of choice where you can follow and subscribe to the show on multiple platforms. So, for instance, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. The list goes on. You got to check it out. Find us at WokeNFree.com. You'll see all about it. Now, of course, you should also make sure you're subscribed to our show via email. So you can do that on the homepage on WokeNFree.com. And what's really great about that is you'll get email notifications every single week for the new episode. And you can easily forward that to friends and family. Now, make sure you do, because if you're WokeNFree, your friends and family need to be as well. Next, social media, holler at us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn at WokeNFree. We want to hear from you. Make sure you do it. And then lastly, if you haven't reviewed our show, we would love the support and hearing your feedback. How is this show serving you? So make sure, again, you go to WokeNFree.com, go to the Listen tab, pick your platform of choice where you want to review the show at. Booyah, scene end. Let's get it started.
I'll take it from here then, okay. If I may.
Absolutely.
You're okay with that?
I 100% agree with it.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what we do. Before we start the conversation, we like to share a little bit about ourselves. Last time we asked, would you rather be a famous soap opera star or be given the chance to direct a major motion picture? This week we're asking, would you rather attend a day glow or foam party?
What are you speaking of? What is a day glow or a foam party?
You don't know what we've actually done the foam party. I'm not sure about the day glow though. The day glow thing is a little bit different, but the foam party is when they have all those bubbles and soap and you kind of like run through this area. You forgot we did that in college. There was a foam party.
I think I know what you're talking about. So
yeah,
let's go with that. I'll go with that option. Foam. Yes.
Because you don't know what the day glow is.
Correct. And they both sound freaky to me. So
they're not freaky.
I think either one could sound like a good time.
It's not freaky in nature though. That's the funny thing. There's none of that involved there. So.
And your choice?
Yeah, I'm not sure with the day glow party. It sounds interesting, but I just don't understand how something can glow during the day. I don't really get it. I mean, maybe it makes sense, but I don't know.
Maybe like psychedelics are involved or something.
Like, I wonder if the day glow party is actually just the night glow party.
Probably, yeah.
And do you know what a night glow party would be?
Not at all.
I'm just taking a stab at it, but I think it's where you wear all that glow in the dark stuff around you.
Oh, those seem fun, but also freaky too. Yeah.
Smart. But I would go with the foam party just because I know what that is. And day glow, I don't know. It might mean something else. So I just wanted to take the chance with it.
Okay.
That's the way I would do it. But the things that I do take the chance with is watching new shows. Like, I'm definitely up for that.
Nice transition.
So there was definitely a show that you showed me and that caught my attention. And it was VH1's Couples Retreat. What is that show all about?
Let's get to that. Absolutely. So VH1 says the following. It's a celebration of Black love as Yandy and Mendices invite their longtime friends along on a vacation to reconnect, reflect, and press reset on various stages of their relationship. So the couples involved in the show included Yandy and Mendices, of course, Rashida and Kirk, Michael and Rada, and Delicious and Raymond, and then, of course, Ray J and Princess. And for us, I think what was really interesting was most of these people we don't really even know. know. So,
but that's not true.
I mean, like they're like, I still didn't understand Rashida and Kirk, like how they became celebrities or people, you know, we know.
I've heard of Mendices. I don't know what he's done though, but I've heard that.
I've heard of Mendices as well, and Yandy, but.
You might have forgot, but you've known Delicious from the Flavor of Love show.
Flavor of Love show. She looks dramatically different though, so it was really nice to see.
Yeah, she's changed.
How she looks now. And then
Michael,
the comedian.
Michael Blackson.
He's hilarious.
You know Ray J.
Yes, unfortunately.
So there you go, Ray J, the infamous Ray J.
But Princess, I did not know.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Beautiful woman, yeah. But it was interesting. But
it was a mix of known and unknown people that we weren't sure about.
What were your thoughts about the show, and like if you were to summarize it?
I mean, to me, it seems like a show trying to fix broken and destined to failed relationships.
Pleasant,
that's
nice.
Like a great summary in one sentence.
That's brilliant, actually. Yeah. So
if I was just to sum it all
everyone
up,
involved in that one.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to put it. I mean, of course, like I said, you mentioned these are celebrities. I mean, we don't know all of them, but I think they all do have a following and stuff, and you know, they're celebrities. So that's the interesting part of the show is watching these celebrity couples. How do they get on? Mm-hmm. Why aren't things working?
Gotcha. And
that
then
kind of stuff.
With that, what would you say, like, what were your thoughts overall about it? Like from an enjoyability perspective and things that you learned, all that good stuff.
Well, to me, the things that I thought about this show is some of these issues could have actually been resolved easily. It looks like most of the couples, their problem was communication. Mm-hmm. They just didn't communicate about things. They kind of they might have like lashed out at one another, but they never got to know, hey, why do you feel that way? Or what can we do to change this? What's going wrong? Like they kept a lot of the misgivings to themselves. They weren't just open and honest about, hey, just do this for me because I'm into that. Yeah. Which is, I guess, it could be hard as a couple to kind of figure out what someone's thinking if they don't tell you. So you got to have an open line of communication, I think. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is, I mean, it's called Couples Retreat, so I thought the show was going to be about them having more fun together, but it didn't seem like that. I mean, they had some pool time and they had dinners, but
it seemed like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it didn't seem like what I would call a retreat. It seemed like, we're going to expose you. Right? Yeah, it's set in Arizona, so that's kind of cool. But they call it couples retreat, but I almost think of it like couples therapy. That's what I think about.
It was like broken down therapy sessions. It was
because they had all these different sessions about, here, let's do this to get you guys closer, but we're not going to just let you guys have fun. Absolutely. We're going to really dig down, and you're going to tell us stuff about your relationship.
Absolutely. Okay, well, for me, you know, us being together over 16 years, going on 17 years this September, we definitely, and I say we because we do, you'll engage with me, we enjoy consuming content around relationships because I think we both either gain like a perspective of like laughter or perspective of knowledge depending on.
I only consume that with you.
Correct.
I mean, mostly. I watch some of the the dating shows are funny.
Yeah. I mean,
I watch the dating shows.
Love is an interesting subject, right? And whether we consume stuff together or apart, we definitely still try to, I think, keep our hand in it. And for me, I would say I agree with you. The lack of communication was very apparent. And in addition to that, you know, I thought the show was lacking and was very funny for the following reasons. There was a lack of storytelling. So again, how did it wasn't even clear how the couples became friends with each other, right? For all of them to be decided to how they came together to be on this retreat. So I don't know, was it random?
Why were they selected? Yeah.
Everyone was paid to be here, but are they actually friends? Like, are they friends for television? Like, so that was,
we don't know.
That was a misstep there, I thought. Also, lack of clarity, like you said, of understanding each couple's distinctive issues. Every couple is going to struggle at things. And so it's really important to get down to the nitty gritty and not talk around it, which to your point, it was very much surface level conversations. And whenever it was getting really deep, people were storming out the room.
Yeah, they didn't deal with it.
And they didn't really confront it. Also, there was a lack of understanding of what each couple was trying to achieve on this retreat, right? So when you go on a retreat, there's usually some type of outcome you're trying to achieve, right? Either a better understanding of health, a better wellness journey for yourself, something like, what was Mendices and Yandy trying to fix here? What was Ray J and Princess trying to fix? I mean, it just, you know, I understand people want to be together and they want to be in love, but you have to look beyond that. You have to get really practical and strategic when you are having problems in your relationship. So that I thought was a really sad misstep there. And then also, I thought it was really funny how Ray J seemed specifically offended by having open conversations in the show. So I wasn't sure what he was expecting out of this experience, because anytime Princess, his partner, brought up something real about their relationship, he was like, oh, so we're going to have a dark conversation. We're trying to go there. Like, it was very
to go there in front of all these people.
Yeah, he seemed really offended by honesty. So I thought that was hilarious. And also really telling. And then lastly, I thought there was a lack of understanding of what the overall tone of the show was, because by having Michael Blackson, the comedian, on it, things, he's very entertaining and wildly inappropriate
is a good word.
And so was the show supposed to be funny? Because we definitely laughed at every episode, but was that the tone that they were going for? Or was this like, should I have seen something in their relationships similar to our relationship and then been like, oh, that's something we could fix, right? Like, how was I supposed to relate? I wasn't sure what the audience was supposed to take away from it. So
yeah, that's a good point.
There's that.
Were there any lessons you learned from the show?
100%. I think there's always a lesson to be learned in life and in anything you do. So first, what comes to mind would be the following. Talking about your relationship in front of others might not come easy to all, because that was definitely apparent from the show. And for us too, I don't think we necessarily go into our relationship that crazy about. I mean, we do in our show, in our podcast, but when you're forced to have to, like, for instance, remember the episode around sexuality and how they had that sexologist, I believe, going through, talking to them about different positions of like intimacy. Like, that's really hard to do that in front of other people. That's
uncomfortable for you.
Oh, that would be wildly uncomfortable for me, because I don't know, like, yes, there's sexy time that happens, guys. Obviously, we're grown-ups. We have a son. Deal with it.
That doesn't faze me as long as no body parts come out.
I mean,
that's my only concern. Now, if they saying like do a demonstration with your and be nude, then I have a problem.
I feel like that's a little challenging there. Yeah,
but what's good if you're clothed and doing it? I don't think there's a big deal.
I don't know, because but then what if you get like kind of like into it, right? And then there's other people. Then watching,
you have a room though. You could say I have to use.
But then it's like a delayed version of satisfaction. Or do you just get up and run?
Yeah, you run. You say, "Sorry, teacher, we have to go to the room and do something."
Teacher, we have to go do something.
Yeah, we have something to do. We
like
just remember.
Math homework.
We just remember something to do.
We just remembered something.
Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, we left the light on in the room.
I bet you did.
We want to save that electricity.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So there's that. Also, honesty with your partner isn't always easy for everyone, but it is necessary to be able to work through issues. We ourselves, our foundation of our relationship is honesty. And again, are we perfect at it? And of course not. But everyone needs to figure out where they stand on what they want in a partner and how honest they want to be with their partner. Yeah. And I don't think the couples in this show made that determination, at least in the show. Maybe be outside of that, sure. But from the show, there's that.
¿Qué onda, gente? This is Carlos Hernandez from Crediverso. You're now listening to
WokeNFree.
WokeNFree, the podcast that keeps it real and honest.
Also, you have to have a common goal for your relationship with your partner. That seemed to be at odds for some of the couples there. It seemed, especially with Delicious and, what was it, Raymond? That they, I think what he wanted out of our marriage is different than what Delicious wanted. And so I thought that was an interesting thing. Yeah. Also, sexual compatibility is important. If one partner is like really into sexy time and the other partner is like, cool, can we just like watch football and sleep? That's going to be a long-term problem for your relationship. So that was something that I learned about from another perspective. And then lastly, relationships take work. You can never take your partner for granted, and things are not always going to go smoothly, but it is important to always ask critical questions. Some of the couples, the partners identified that their partner really wasn't checking in on the other person on an intimate level. Like, hey, are you okay? Hey, how am I supporting you? And I thought that was a really interesting point, because, just because your person's in the house with you doesn't mean that they're feeling good about where you stand with things. So like, do you know where your partner stands with you today? If not, go home and ask them and be willing to have those hard conversations.
Yeah. Those are a lot of lessons you learned from just this VH1 show.
I try to be very thorough and critical here. I was really thinking about it. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I thought my hardest, and I can only come up with 3. So
Pleasant.
That's
our son is excited to hear it. Let's bring it.
Yeah. So the number 1 is, don't expect your partner to change their ways just because you've been together for a long time. Because I think there were some expectations that, this person's going to change. They their habit. And I'm pointing to a specific couple. I don't know if you can guess or you want me to name them.
Name them. Yeah, name them.
Well, the Michael Blackson couple.
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but let's just say he likes to have
intimate
plural people in his relation in the bedroom when he's with his partner.
Yeah.
It's a plural experience, not just him and the partner. So
Absolutely.
I'll say that. And his partner wants that to be different.
Yes.
But, you know, that's...
But when you meet someone and they're into plural sex and then you get with them and you expect for that to change, you have to wonder, well, what's going to make them change?
Yeah, you can't just think time
that way, then
and you can't just think time will do it. It's like, well, you've been doing this long. Are you good? Like, are you bored of it? That's not a
who gets
reasonable.
Bored of red velvet cake? I mean, right? Like it's
but,
just like,
I mean, some people think you will. Like I know. Well, for me personally, I don't like having too much of something.
True.
Like,
but I don't think that is in reference to plural intimacy.
I'm not even gonna go here with my wife, my lovely wife. You can't set me up for failure.
I bet I can.
I'm not going to even touch that.
You're not
I'm not going to touch that with a 5-foot pole. Because we're talking about lessons learned here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not mistakes made.
This is one good for you, too. You know, it's true. You need to be up in front about your jealousy and trust issues.
Who are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
Because what's so amazing about me, but not with some of the people in the show, is that for me, when you're with me, you don't have to be jealous of me. It's really cool. That's what I think is amazing.
Oh, I remember this is woke and free. We have to be honest and real. We have to keep it woke and free.
But that's my thoughts on me. I think that you being with me, you know that you don't have to be jealous.
Okay, so don't similar have those to issues. Your earlier statement, I'm not going to hit that with a 5-foot pole. So you play me, I play you back. There you go.
But that's a lesson learned.
Excellent.
And then the third one is be honest when you are only with someone because you have a child and want them to see your family as the perfect family.
Ooh.
Which so many people have done.
Ooh, that is a real harsh one. Ooh, yes.
Yeah, they're like...
Very true.
That's the only reason I'm sticking with you, because I want us to have a good family.
Oh, wow.
Well, no. It's not a good family.
Okay, then.
You don't stay just because of the child.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Yogananda was leading a session for 5 couples on healing their relationships. Everyone was tasked with voicing their biggest concern with their significant other in front of the whole group. Should everybody share their thoughts now or wait later so as not to embarrass their SO?
Their significant other. Interesting. True. Okay. That's interesting.
And Yogananda is not Yogi for short.
Gotcha. Yogananda is just...
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to go by, the full name. No shortening of this.
I mean, to be honest, if the couples are there, and time is money, guys, right? Whenever you spend your time, you can never get it back in life, right? And so if these 5 couples took their time out of their life to be a part of this session that Yogananda is leading for them to discuss relationship matters, and the question on the table is, what is your biggest concern? I think you have to answer the question. Now, obviously not everyone yell it at the same time. I think Yogananda is, if leading the session correctly, would, direct the questions or direct the conversation couple per couple, like in a, reasonable, conventional manner. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't hold back. If you're willing to take the time to have a real honest conversation about your relationship, then follow through with it. Follow through with your commitment. And even if it does embarrass your significant other, that's what you signed up for. That's what you agree to. Those meetings, it's not like going to the movie. You're not confusing it. Like, hey, do you want to talk about our relationship or have ice cream? Right? Like, those are 2 separate activities. So if you and I were to do this, we'd have to keep it woke and free, keep it 100.
Just imagine, though, if there was a coworker there that you didn't like, and then you got to admit some problems that are going on at home.
100%. That's why you don't just sign up for any event, though. Yeah.
What do you do then?
You have to be. No. Why did these couples do this then?
But I'm just saying, like, it's almost like at an AA meeting where people will speak and you don't know who's going to be there. So you show up to the session, and then one of your most hated coworkers there, who always is out to get you. Do you expose yourself and make yourself fragile in front of that coworker?
You expose yourself if you think that there's actual healing that's going to result from it.
So you just say, I don't care that coworker's there.
Are you there for them, or are you there for your relationship, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's about how much you really are looking for that healing. If you don't think healing's going to happen,
so you got to ignore like others. circumstances then, and just say, well, I'm here for this reason. I don't care if that other person's there.
If you're having problems with your couple in your relationship, that is paramount above pettiness with someone at work. I understand that, that yes, you have to be mindful of how you're perceived in all circumstances. But at the end of the day, if your marriage is on the rocks, then, I mean, what's more important to you? Your coworker not knowing your privateness or you saving your marriage? You have to make that decision.
Yeah, that's a good point. So to that point, I agree with you, and that's the advice I'd give to people. But if I was personally in that situation,
you would say pass.
There's somebody there, I would just, I wouldn't share the most deepest things there. I just wouldn't do it because I don't like people to be able to judge me for whatever, I'm saying if they don't know me well. I don't want to give them I
don't think you would attend a session like that. I think you would do something more private.
Maybe I wouldn't be in it.
I don't think you would attend.
If I was in it, I would have to scope out each couple, see if I know them in any way, see if they look like they're really judgy.
Crazy person.
And if I see that they're judgy, I'm going to tailor what I say in terms of this session. I'll be very manipulative in my thought process of what I say. I'll say things that'll get them incited kind of thing.
Gotcha.
That's what I would do.
Okay, crazy.
Yeah, it's all about controlling people's minds.
Khalil.
That's in my mind.
Talking nonsense.
Pretty much. Scenario 2. Lynn is dating a polyamorous person who she thinks could be the one and only for her. The problem is that person is not willing to give up the polyamorous lifestyle. Should Lynn continue dating the person and open her outlook on relationships, or move on so she can find her one and only?
Oh, that's such an interesting question. Oh, I love it. So here, this is deeply interesting because, again, Lynn went into a situation where she already was aware of the fact that she wasn't going to be the one and only in the relationship, but she went in willingly and then fell in love with this person and now wants this person to drop the other folks, whoever they may be. But, for Lynn to make this decision, she's going to have to get an understanding of why her partner wants to be polyamorous. What exactly about monogamy is not satisfying enough to her partner? And if the partner has a reason that that Lynn can live with, then I think that they can make it work. But if it's not, if it's literally just like the person says they believe love should be multiplied, not minimized, then, and that's it. They're just interested in intimacy with multiple people and there's no real reason to stop, then she would have to decide, she would probably have to just open up her viewpoint on the relationship she has with her partner then.
Okay. Yeah. I think you're not gonna convince this polyamorous person to go into a monogamous relationship. I think that's impossible. So in this case, she needs to just move on. She knows what she got into, and to hope that somebody's gonna change that's not gonna work. People want to live their life. So Lynn, just move on. That's my suggestion.
Absolutely.
Scenario number 3. Melita has kept a close set of friends with her since the beginning of middle school. They are all involved in each other's relationships, so Melita thinks it'd be nice to plan a couple's retreat for them to strengthen their bonds even more. Should you plan this event without talking with her friends, or could this hurt their relationships more than help it?
Yeah, so she definitely should talk to her friends because even though she thinks it's a great idea, they might look at her and say, no, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks.
It would be a weird surprise, you're saying?
Yeah, I think all surprises are problematic in nature. Because, you might have a really great idea, but that other person could look at you and be like, why do you hate me so much? It might not work out. Some people are really fantastic and are great at romance and they would surprise you and you're just like, oh, you just turn into butter. But some people will surprise you and it'll be like a woman might want to be engaged and the man gives her a puppy, right? Two different intentions.
Big surprise, though.
Hell of a surprise. Hell of a surprise, right? Here's the gift of feces and urine versus here's the gift of Cartier
and responsibility.
Diamonds, right? Yeah, totally different. So yeah, definitely, always, especially when you're spending money, make sure that all parties involved are definitely consenting to this experience and have the bandwidth and the time and the interest to get involved.
All right. So this scenario is interesting because if there was more information, then maybe this has happened in the past where maybe her friends have planned events and they've gone on a surprise, we're going to Paris, maybe that's happened before. So if that's happened before in this case, but the only thing is it's with couples now, so you're involving your friend's significant other. So yeah. I think it's still risky because they might say, well, I love hanging out with you, but hey, I don't want to bring my person along to this kind of stuff. I don't want to expose all that. So yeah, this is a dangerous thing to do. I think she should talk it out. Don't just do this as a surprise. It's a little dangerous.
Absolutely.
Like a girl's trip is fine. I understand that. But when you try to make this couples thing without giving notice, that gets tough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looks like we are at that time again. It is coming to the end of our 201st episode of
WokeNFree.
Quite the episode discussing VH1 Couples Retreat, doing a WokeNFree review. So woohoo! Fantastic. Cool. Fantastic, guys.
Cool as ice. Come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
Now, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, definitely submit a topic for an upcoming episode on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com, which is WokenFree.com. Spoiler alert, we had our son. He's amazing. You can see pictures of him on the WokenFree Instagram account, and you might even see a picture of him on WokenFree.com. So make sure you check that out because he is pretty yummy. And when it comes to social media, always feel free to hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn at WokenFree, and then of course sponsorships, collaborations. Always hit us up. Contact us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokenFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokenFree is more than a podcast; it is a way of life. Until next time.